Hey there, friends. So, picture this. You wake up one day, grab your phone, and instead of checking Twitter for the latest memes or TikToks, you've got a strange realization that makes your morning coffee taste, well, a little different. What if I told you that you live in a world where Isaac Newton never existed? That's right. No laws of motion, no calculus, and I can't even imagine where our physics would be without his insights. Can you even wrap your head around that? Think about it. Imagine a universe where gravity works differently, or even worse, what if we're still stuck trying to measure things with a ruler and not knowing how to calculate anything beyond a simple addition? Yeah, I know, right? This is huge. Imagine if we had to go back to counting everything on our fingers, or, heaven forbid, using abacuses for anything beyond a basic multiplication problem. That's a pretty wild mental image, isn't it? I can just see it now. Hey, I need to calculate how much pizza we need for the party. Let's break out the abacuses and hope we get it right. The truth is, Newton didn't just shape science. He literally shaped our entire approach to understanding the world around us. All right, let's back it up a bit. Who was Isaac Newton anyway? Born in 1643 in England, Newton was a mathematician, physicist, astronomer, and all-around genius, a prodigy in so many ways. You could say he's kind of the granddaddy of modern science. He came up with the three laws of motion that describe the relationship between the motion of an object and the forces acting on it. His work, Principia Mathematica, is like the holy grail for physics enthusiasts. It's studied, debated, and revered, almost like the Bible of science. But did you know Newton had some quirky traits? He was known to be a bit of a recluse, often losing himself in his work for days at a time. There are stories about how he would sometimes forget to eat, consumed by the marvels of mathematics and physics. You could say that his life was like a high-stakes science experiment of his own. He didn't stop there. He also laid the foundations for calculus, that math you probably thought you'd never use outside of school. Oof, but hey, it turns out calculus helps us understand everything from the arc of a basketball shot to the orbits of planets. Now, imagine if he just never happened. What if he had a cosmic bad day, got lost in the woods, or gasp, even decided to take a job as a gardener instead of pursuing academia? Yeah, think about it. The world's understanding of physics, mathematics, and even your everyday technology would be on a wild different track. So today, let's dive into this alternate reality and see how things shake out without the man who gave us gravity. Buckle up, because we're about to go on quite the ride. Okay, first off, one of the most iconic things Newton is known for is his three laws of motion. So without him, we scramble back to the basics of physics, right? First law: an object at rest stays at rest unless acted upon by an external force. Now, without Newton writing that down for us, we might still think that, just running really fast at a tree would somehow make it magically move. But seriously, think of all the implications. In this alternate universe without Newton, we could have a wildly different understanding of motion. Just imagine, the principles of sports, especially physics in sports, would be non-existent. The science behind throwing a football, making a perfect free throw, or executing a physical feat in gymnastics relies on Newton's laws. Can you envision a world where athletes had to wing it with their instincts rather than the science behind their movements? We could have professional athletes trying to figure out their own physics, with sports commentators saying, "And he leaped. Was it gravity or just a good bounce?" To make things even more bizarre, consider how everyday life would be impacted. Without a concrete understanding of gravity, it's like we'd be clueless in the kitchen. Cooking requires a fundamental understanding of how solids, liquids, and gases behave, especially when it comes to the movement of heat and pressure. Can you imagine trying to fry an egg without the concept of buoyancy? Okay, everyone, here's how you make scrambled eggs. Toss them in the air and hope they land in the frying pan, and then we get to gravity. Newton figured it out, right? He saw an apple fall from a tree and thought, hey, there's got to be something to this. Without him, how would we even understand gravity? There's a solid chance we might think everything just floats around willy-nilly. Imagine walking outside and seeing your neighbor's lawn chair just chilling midair, not a care in the world. Talk about an unsettling yard sale. Moreover, think about the impact on astronomy. Newton's laws helped predict celestial movements. Without Newton, we might still be mapping the stars with a wooden stick and some bad guesswork. Edwin Hubble's groundbreaking work on galaxies would probably just be a far-off dream. If we had never had Newton's laws to build upon, we could have ended up in a world where we think stars are just twinkling lights in the sky, with no idea of their vast distances or the concept of the universe expanding. This is the part that always blows my mind. How do you even measure the distances between stars without the groundwork laid by Newton? It would be like trying to find your way in New York City without a subway map. Imagine people staring up at the night sky, thinking the stars are just pinpricks of light, with no clue about their complexity or the fact that every one of them could be an entire solar system. I mean, if there's anything that makes you feel small, it's looking up at the cosmos, knowing that you don't even understand how far away those stars truly are. Moving along, here's where it gets really interesting. Newton isn't just a physics guy, he's also a math whiz. Let's talk calculus. Now, I'm not saying everyone loves derivatives and integrals today, but they're essential for everything from engineering to economics. No calculus means no engineering marvels. And friends, can you even imagine trying to build a skyscraper without the right measurements? You'd have some pretty confused construction workers out there trying to figure out if the building's supposed to lean, or worse, tip over, like a wobbly tower of Jenga. Here's the kicker. Without calculus, we might still think that the Earth is flat. I mean, seriously, what would our maps even look like? You'd probably have a "Here There Be Monsters" sign on every corner. If we think about it, the concept of navigation without calculus is terrifying. If you're a ship captain in this alternate world, you'd be relying on suspect theories like, just follow the stars and hope they don't lead you into a storm. Imagine setting sail from England to the New World, only to find you're lost in the Bermuda Triangle, not knowing how to calculate your way out. And forget about GPS. We'd be navigating like it's 1492 again, pointing at the stars and asking, is that north? Imagine pulling up to a coffee shop and asking for directions to your favorite bookstore, only to be met with a response like, it's right past the old oak tree, past the hill with the goat. Good luck. Then, we've got the Industrial Revolution. That whole era was fueled by mathematical advancements, and if calculus never existed, well, we might still be cranking out your morning coffee from a wooden mill wheel instead of latte art. Can you imagine telling your barista to whip up a French press while they're trying to figure out how many beans to grind? I don't know. Just wing it? We'll call it the Caffeine Guesswork Special. And on the topic of the Industrial Revolution, think about how the lack of calculus would affect industrial machinery. Without that mathematical foundation, we'd have clunky, inefficient machines that wouldn't be able to function smoothly. They'd probably break down more often than not, like an outdated computer that crashes every 20 minutes. I can just see factory workers banging their heads in frustration, yelling, why won't this thing just work? Also, without a solid grasp of calculus, the developments in physics and engineering that led to the steam engine, the textile mill, or even basic transportation might have been delayed by centuries. We could be churning out goods by hand instead of ramping up mechanized methods. Just think about how exhausting that would be. Instead of deep diving into the world of tech, we'd be stuck in the Stone Age, trying to figure out how to make a better wheel. Now, let's talk tech. Without Newton's contributions, the development timeline of technology would have hit a massive snag, like a car trying to speed along a road that suddenly turns into quicksand. The industrial advances we saw in the 18th and 19th centuries, powered by Newtonian mechanics and calculus, could be delayed by decades or even centuries. Imagine a world where steam engines are still in their infancy. The trains we love today, zooming across continents, might still be clunky horse-drawn carriages. Welcome to your 50th floor office. Hope you're ready for a workout. And without advanced engineering, we might have life without elevators, leading us to climb countless flights of stairs every day. I can hear it now. Welcome to your 50th floor office. Hope you're ready for a workout. And what about computers? Without calculus, forget about advanced algorithms that power the internet and smartphones. I mean, we might still be using typewriters. Can you even picture sending a text and having to wait for the ink to dry? Imagine having a group chat where everyone had to send their messages by mail. Okay, guys, I just sent the RSVP for the party, expected to arrive in 2 weeks. And forget about GPS. We'd be navigating like it's 1492 again, pointing at the stars and asking, is that north? Imagine your favorite video game characters like Mario or Link having to rely on guesswork instead of the science of movement. Sorry, Princess Zelda, I can't save you today. I accidentally made Link float away. Let's jump into the cultural repercussions now. Newton's impact on science and education really laid the foundation for how we view knowledge today. Without him, the education system would look entirely different. Science classes might not even exist, and we'd be stuck learning stuff like philosophy from a yelling guy in a toga. Can you imagine the world of pop culture? There'd be no sci-fi novels about space exploration because the basic understanding of physics isn't even there. How is Hollywood supposed to make epic films like Interstellar or The Martian without gravity and space travel theories? Instead, we might have movies about heroic carpenters fixing doors instead of saving planets. Also, consider how the cultural narratives we tell one another would shift. The concept of heroes in stories is often tied to their understanding of the world around them. Space exploration, discoveries about black holes, or the possibility of alien life could all be out of reach. Instead, we'd probably be stuck exploring the depths of the ocean and crafting stories of mermaids and sea monsters. The Great Fish Dilemma doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? And then, think about the impact on the scientific community. Newton sparked a chain reaction of thinkers and innovators like Einstein and Hawking. Without Newton, we might just have a group of people sitting around going, hey, what if water is always wet? That's probably a bad meeting. So, here we are in 2025, looking at a world without Newton's existence. Instead of texting friends about the latest trends, we're probably sending telegrams. Dear friend, it would say, I saw a horse race yesterday. I hope it finds the way to your door. And social media? Forget it. You'd be trying to get your news from town criers or flipping through dusty old newspapers. Imagine trying to explain TikTok to someone from this alternate reality. Oh, it's a video platform where people create short skits and dance challenges. And politics. You know those scientific debates today about climate change? Well, here's where it gets extra wild. Without the understanding of physics and engineering, we probably wouldn't even have the technology needed to track climate data or build sustainable energy systems. Picture a global gathering with everyone saying, "What's climate change? It's just a hot day." I can just see politicians saying, "I promise I'll fix the weather," as if they were some kind of wizards. Wave my magic wand and poof, climate change is solved. Wow, it's crazy to think that one person like Isaac Newton could create such a seismic shift in our world, isn't it? Imagine if one person's existence can shape the course of human advancement so profoundly. It makes you reflect on the ripple effects of our actions, doesn't it? So, what do you think? How do you think our world would pan out? And what if we erased someone else from history? What if we just removed someone like Leonardo da Vinci or Marie Curie? Would art be at the same level? Would we even have the medical advancements we enjoy today? Let's have those conversations down in the comments. I'd love to hear who you'd like to see in our next alternate history episode. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on the wild journeys we're going to take through history. Remember, stay curious because you never know what could have been.